Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. Shabbos, however you are joining us, we're delighted that you're here, whether you're on Zoom or StreamSpot or Facebook or YouTube or all the things, you're in the right place. And tonight it's very special. We're going to celebrate Shabbat. We just got done celebrating Purim. Is it over yet? Is it over yet? Is everybody good to drive? Okay. We just got done celebrating Purim. We're starting to celebrate Shabbat, and this Shabbat, we're also celebrating a milestone, a very important milestone for a wonderful family. We're celebrating the bar mitzvah of one Riley McMillan, long time coming, and you'll hear more about that over the course of this weekend. But in just a moment, we're going to start with our regular Friday night service, and some of which is going to be led by our newest Jewish adult. Now, a couple things you need to know about us before we get started. If this is your first time here or your 101st time here, this is a singing community. So even though maybe we can't hear you because you're watching on YouTube or you're muted on Zoom, that's okay. You still get to sing. And in fact, you know, some people feel even more confident singing when they think nobody can hear them. So please, if you know the tune, if you kind of know the tune, if you want to know the tune, please sing along with us. And to help that, we also have these prayer books, these Sidurim. We're using the Sidur Sim Shalom for Shabbat. If you don't have a copy of this, if you're here on Zoom, you can actually download that from the chat. And if you have trouble downloading that from the chat, let somebody know and they'll help you out. In addition to the Siddur in the chat, we also have a booklet that's sort of a program for this bar mitzvah, sort of talking about this family. And I can't stop talking about this family, but also letting you know about some things that you'll see in the service that you may not have experienced before. So all that stuff is happening. We're delighted that you're here. We're going to begin to celebrate Shabbat with a very special song that talks about the angels that escort us through Shabbat. That's Shalom Aleichem on page 13. Page 13. Please join us.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Yasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'achem L'Shalom, Malachei Yashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Yashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Echem L'Shalom, Malachei Yashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh הקדוש ברוך הוא.
At this point in the service, we not only like to increase the sound in our homes and in our holy space here, we also like to increase the light in our homes and in our hearts. And we do this with the Shabbat candles. And if you'll pay attention to what's going on in the chapel right now, we are going to have Lauren Fox McMillan and Norma Fox, Riley's mother and grandmother, are going to bless the Shabbat candles there in the chapel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
With that, we're going to start climbing up what I call the sulam, or the ladder of Shabbat. Our sages gave us a series of songs and psalms to help lift us out of the week. And this starts with Lechuna Ranana, which roughly translated means get up and sing, y'all. You don't have to stand up, but please lift your voices and sing with us. Lechuna Ranana on page 15.
ארבעים שנה אקוט ודור ואומר עמתוהי לבבם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי ואפי אם יבואון אל מנוחתי.
Page 16.
בגויים כבודו בכל העמים נפלאותיו כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד נורא הוא
And we've just shared a couple of the Psalms of King David. Now we move to a tune that's brand new compared to that. It's merely about 500 years old. It's called Lecha Dodi. It's on page 21. Lecha Dodi, our sages of Sfat, wanted to make Shabbat special by welcoming in Shabbat like an honored guest or a distinguished sovereign. And so that's why Shabbat is sometimes called a bride or referred to as a queen that's visiting. And to this bride, to this queen, they say, "Come, my beloved, welcome into our home and into our hearts." Lecha Dodi on page 21, page 21.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, יד עלי, יד עלי, יד עלי, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יד עלי, יד עלי, יד עלי, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לקראת שבת לכו ונחם, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. אוי לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, ומצאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לשבת בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי. על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, קורבה אל נפשי גאלה תגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי. אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. אוי לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, פני שבת נקבלה. נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. כל ומלאך יסיס עלייך אלוהיך כמסוס חתן על כלה ולך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת ימין ושמאל תפרוסי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגיל על יקדוני לקראת כלה פני שבת לקבל עליך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבל בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני ים סגולה בואי חלה דקדוני לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבל עליך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבל
I spoke earlier of a ladder that we use to ascend from, let's say, the mundane level of the week to the heights of Shabbat. The top rung of that ladder is a special psalm that King David intended just for Shabbat. This is Psalm 92, which can be found. It's not on page 92. It's on page 23, actually. And on page 23, we're going to have a reading of the special psalm for Shabbat. And the honor of that reading belongs to Michelle Masjetti, who's going to lead us in this psalm.
A song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God, to affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the magic of the lute and the melody of the harp. Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation. How vast your works, Adonai. Your designs are beyond our grasp. The thoughtfulness cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot fathom this. The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever. Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish, all the wicked shall crumble. But me, you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim Adonai is just my rock, in whom there is no flaw.
Yesher Koach, wonderfully led. And because it's PJTC, we also have a song for it. So if you'll stay on page 23, we're going to sing Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat.
מזמור שיר השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. Together. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי גיון מכינון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. ומה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקומך שמותיך. ומה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקומך שמותיך. יאי לי 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 ירלי ירלי, יאי לי 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 ירלי, יאי לי 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 ירלי ירלי, ירלי ירלי. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך
Well, once again, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. If you're just joining us, this is Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center, and we are delighted that you're here to celebrate Shabbat with us and also celebrate the bar mitzvah of one Riley McMillan. Yes, yes, Riley McMillan. There's also cheering going on from the people who are on mute right now. So I just want to say a few words. Normally, this is a time where it's my custom to scare the B'nai Mitzvah by offering them the time to give the sermon when they're prepared to give the sermon on Saturday instead. And so I asked them, and I say, if I tell a joke often enough, it becomes a ritual. It becomes a Jewish tradition, maybe. But I'm thinking of retiring it. I think I might retire that joke. I'm looking for nods okay. I'll check the Yelp reviews later. We'll see how people feel about it. So I want to say a few words about this week's Torah portion. Frankly, Riley's been through quite enough to have to give the sermon tonight. He's had his bar mitzvah moved here, his bar mitzvah moved there. We're going to be reading a couple of passages tomorrow. We're going to be hearing some from this week's Parshat Tetzaveh. We'll also be hearing some from Beshalach, which was his originally scheduled Torah portion, but a beautiful story in its own right, and one that has a lot of personal meaning for Riley, as you'll hear about tomorrow. So I'm going to just say a couple of words about Tetzaveh. So you can hear about Beshalach tomorrow, or as the sages call it, the Tetzaveh Fashion Week. This is Fashion Week here in the Torah. Last time we talked about, it was Parshat Trumah, and this was that was more of a home improvement show, I want to say. There was a lot of things that the people were instructed to get together in order to build the Mishkan. And our wonderful adult B'nai Mitzvah class, 9 different people looked at this and took something completely different away from it. But all of them noticed the fine level of detail that was specified in building the Mishkan. it takes special attention. It takes scrutiny. It takes care to build something that's going to hold not just the presence of God, but the diverse people who God wants to be present with. This week we shift to the special clothing of the priests. And it's sort of a piece. I mean, if you've got a building, you need a uniform. It's not just the decoration on the outside, but the decoration of the people who are in charge of the service. And it goes into just as fine a level of detail, specifying colors for this and colors for that and measurements for this and, little bells around the fringes of their tunics and a special kind of hat with a plate on it. And it's such that, you can read this and reconstruct the entire outfit. And I've seen various paintings and things where just from the text, it's so specific that multiple people have designed these outfits and they all look largely similar because it's so specific. Why go to all the trouble? I mean, these are folks who've been roughing it for a while, right? As we read about in Parshat Yitro, when the people who were about to receive the 10 Commandments, they were told to wash their clothes ahead of time. And it said that the change was so drastic because they've been going through the desert that all their clothes appeared white, and that's why we eat blintzes on Shavuot. But that's a different story. Everybody looks tired. Everybody looks kind of schmutzy, right? They've been through a lot together over the course of several months. Isn't it enough that the priest just stands up, just does his job? That's special. I mean, there's lots of animals involved. There's gold dishes. Isn't that enough to ask of someone? Why make him dress up? Why make him stand out? Everybody's going to respect him just the same. In fact, that's part of the question that the sages ask about this is why does a priest need special clothes? And some say it's so that the people know he's special, right? So that the people there's a sense of dignity when you've got somebody representing you to God and they are the nicest dressed person there, right? This shows a kind of reverence to God, does it not? It shows a reverence to the people. When the person who's supposed to represent them puts his suit on, right? Puts a tie on, puts a turban and bells around his thing. You know that you're in the middle of something wonderful, and you know that you're loved as a people when God wants your representative to look nice. What I'm drawn to is the opinion of the sages who say that it's not for God and it's not for the people, it's for the priest. It's for the priest to know how special he is, because being a priest is hard. I've heard. I'm not one myself. I'm good for teaching and high shelves and pickle jars myself, but being a priest seems like a very difficult job. Not only are you going through the same slog that everybody else is, but on Shabbos and holidays, you have to get up and perform a holy service. And I bet there are some days they just did not feel like it. Right? That they went to get the knives and get the fire pans together, and they might have said, I wish I wasn't a Cohen. But putting on the suit, putting on the hat, hearing the tinkling of the bells as you wrap up in your tunic, probably made one person at least one day say, all right, I don't feel like it. But this is for them. And this is for the Holy One. And these clothes make me feel like I'm up to it. So I'm going to fake it till I make it. And that's going to be good enough. For me, this is intimately connected to the mitzvah of honoring Shabbat. Right? We remember the Sabbath day, we protect the Sabbath day, we delight in the Sabbath day, and the fourth thing is we honor the Sabbath day. This comes from a passage in Yeshayahu, in the book of Isaiah, where it says you should honor the Sabbath day. And in the Shulchan Aruch, when it's unpacking the different, actually, I think it's Rambam, it's Mishnah Torah. When Rambam is unpacking the different mitzvot of Shabbat and putting them into the categories, is this honor? Is this protection? Is this delight? When he's talking about honoring the Sabbath, he says, honor the Sabbath, get dressed, right? Put out your nice stuff. Put out the towels that are for company, as my mom used to have. You put on your nice stuff. That's how you honor the Sabbath. And then when this is unpacked in the Shulchan Aruch and in the later law code of, again, merely 500 years ago, they asked this question, which today still stirs me in its humanity, right? It says, you should have a different beged for Shabbat, a different garment, right? Don't wear the same stuff on Shabbat that you wear every other day, but you should don a different garment that's just dedicated for Shabbat. Right? And they said, well, what if I don't have anything nice? This is the law wasn't made for saints and it wasn't made for the elite. It was made for all of us. What if I don't have anything nice? It doesn't have to be as nice. Just be different. Just recognize the moment. And then somebody asked the question, what if all I have is what's on my back? And then I think it's the Chofetz Chaim commenting on this, the Mishnah Berurah, rather. That's what they call him when he's talking about the Shulchan Aruch. Says, if you only have one garment to your name, go like this, or straighten it up, or do something. Just make it different. Shabbat is for everybody. And you don't have to have the silver-plated stuff. You don't have to have the big home that can accommodate everybody. Everybody can participate. Everybody can make one move to make it feel different. Not just because Shabbat is worth it, not just because God is worth it, because every one of you is worth it. So my hope for you, and maybe you can take advantage of this right now or maybe after the service, do something small. Do something, maybe put on a hat. We were doing that for Purim. Maybe get a nicer surgical mask. I don't know. Just do something small to make tonight feel special. Because it is. Do something small to make yourself feel worth it. Because you are. And I hope you never forget it. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for joining us here at PJTC. We're going to continue with our Shabbat service, which we move into Mariv, which always starts with our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu. Only this time, it's going to be led by Riley from the chapel. So let's go to the chapel, and this is for our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, which is on page 28. I ask you to please rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamidim loch aleinu, le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo.
Hama'ariv aravim.
Amen. If you're standing, you may be seated as we continue on page 29 with the blessing of God's constant love, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח מדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, נהגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Amen.
We continue with Riley in the chapel as he leads us in Shema and Ve'ahavta.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'komecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue in the middle of page 30 at your own pace, and we'll get back together in just a moment. Let's join together on page 31 as Riley leads us in Vayomer.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael, v'amarta alehem, v'asu lachem tzitzit, al kanfei vigdehem ledorotam, v'natnu, al tzitzit hakanaf patil techelet, v'haya lachem, letzitzit uritem oto, Uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, vasitem otam, v'lo taturu, acharei levavchem, v'acharei einechem, asher atem sonim achareihem, v'ma'an tizkeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hietem kedoshim l'olechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeit yedchem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'chiyot lachem l'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet.
We continue on page 32, page 32. We blessed the light that God brings into our life. We bless God for God's great love. And now we bless God for God's redemptive nature. As we get to the middle of page 32, you'll hear a quotation from the song At the Sea from the Parsha that was Riley's Parshat Beshalach. It says, "Who is like you, God, among all who is worshipped?" Or as we know these words, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai.
Let's join together, middle of the page.
Mi chamocha
ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh, מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע היום לפני משה ומרים. זה לי, פנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, פוגע לו ביד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. On page 33, this final blessing after the Shema, we ask God, we say, help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Hashkivenu on page 33. Join us. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom
וחמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, וחמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור את צאתנו ורואינו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. Together. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. שלום, 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 שלום. ברוך אתה אדוני
Baruch Shemo.
הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ואל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Amen. Please join with us on page 34, page 34.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
In the middle of page 34, Riley is going to lead us in the Hatzi Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra krute, v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyamechon, ub'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, ubizman kariv, bimeru.
Amen. Yehi Shmei.
May Rabba Mebarach, Le'alam Wol Me'omaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitale, V'yitalal, Shmei Dekudisha,
Brihu.
Le'ela min kol birchata, V'shirata, Tushbichata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'alma v'meru.
Amen. We rise for the Amidah for Shabbat evening on page 35b. And our custom that Riley will face the ark while we do this. And this is a silent Amidah, a private Amidah, if you will. This is a time where you can pray whatever the prayers are in your heart. If you want to follow the words from our tradition, again, they start on page 35b. Take a little bit to pray your own prayers. When you're finished with your private prayers, you may be seated, and we'll get back together in a couple of moments.
עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, אמן, אמן. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. ועל כל ישראל,
Our good friend Riley is going to conclude this part of the service with Kaddish Shalem on page 48. Page 48.
Yikadal v'yikadash me rabba,
Amen.
ve'alma divra kirte, v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon v'yamechon uv'chaye dechol bet Yisrael, b'gala u'bizman kari v'imeru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei rabba mevarach, le'alam u'almei almaya, yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach yitpa'ar v'yitshomam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudesha,
Brichu.
le'ela min klo birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'alma v'imeru.
Amen.
Titkabal sloton uve'oton dechol Yisrael kodam avuhon divishmaya v'imeru.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, uya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imeru.
Amen. As someone who's been a younger brother myself, I've been a younger brother for 45 years now. It's my great honor to call upon a very special guest, Asher McMillan, who is going to open the Ark for us as we pray Aleinu together. Aleinu can be found on page 51. As Asher opens the Ark, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שעונו תשב. על כן לך ולך אדוני אלוהים מידת מלך תפארת וזכר. כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולמיות תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב את תורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
As Asher closes the ark, you may be seated. Even as we gather together, nailed it. Excellent. You may be seated. Even as we gather together in times of joy like this, it's perhaps now when we most acutely remember those who are no longer with us. In the coming week here at PJTC, we are marking the Yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of A. Edward Spitz, Alice Eckstein, Alvin Sagan, Anna Baker, Ann Rosenthal, Barbara Kuhn, Barbara Splaver, Boris Tansky, Cecilia Fox, Celia Fingerhut, Chia Rachel Applebaum, Claire Feiger, Deborah Schramm, Edith Brager Goodstein, Elsie Sussman Green, Esther Osorowski, Florence Weissman, Frida Kimmel, Harold Kaplan, Helena Goldman, Henry Heller, Herman Greenberg, Ida Rosen Gross, Jacob Martin Snow, Jeffrey Bass, Joseph Goldstein, Judith Ashkenaz, Judy Surface, Jules Larner, Julius Strauss, Leonard Klamer, Leroy Levine, Lillian Kussner, Lloyd Gold, Louis Fabish, Louis Hockman, Louis Jacobs, Marvin Warshaw, Melvin Spicer Sr., Michael Freitkin, Minerva Shapiro, Minnie Landau, Molly Polikoff, Morris Fertel, Morris Gleiner, Moses Weisfeld, Naum Minkowski, Paul Arnau, Philip Friedenberg, Rabbi Maurice Galpert, Ray Applebaum, Rose Elbaum, Rose Golbin, Rose Jackson, Ruth Larner, Ruth Scher, Sam Weiss, Samuel Breaker, Sanford Sigaloff, Sasha Friedland, Shirley Kronick, Saul Manis, Todd Norton, and Walter Pemstein. If there is another name that you'd like to lift up in honor at this time, hold that name in your heart or say their name out loud wherever you are. And if you're in mourning for anyone or observing a Yahrzeit, please rise for the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 52. Let's pray together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shebei rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabba mivorach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. If you're standing, you may be seated, and we move from honor to great joy. I'm going to introduce a few fine folks who are going to be presenting gifts to our bar mitzvah. That's Riley. So let's go to Riley here. I think we can't do the gift presentations like we used to. So I think we stack up all the gifts in the chapel. Is there like a big stack of gifts in there
Yes,
that you can point at, or maybe as we announce them, you just lift it up and shake it and just show everybody how blessed you are. So we're going to start off with a gift presentation from USY, our youth group. Isaac Tragars is going to make a presentation on behalf of USY. Do we have Isaac in the house?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My name is Isaac Tragars, and I am speaking on behalf of the USY board. Riley, I am so extremely proud to see you becoming bar mitzvah. I really enjoyed working with you at the pop-up restaurant that USY did, which I know was one of your first events in USY, and that was a good event to start with. I hope you had a lot of fun. I know that the months of studying your portion in your Haftorah was very hard, but look at where it led you. You are doing a fantastic job. I'm saddened that I cannot hand this to you in person. I'm still so glad to have the honor to present to you your own B'Kol Echad, also known as the USY Songbook. This book has every song that we use at USY Regional Connect events. I have to see you at our next USY cooking event, where we'll be making matzo ball soup for Passover to deliver to congregants. Again, big mazel tov on becoming bar mitzvah. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
Yashikoach Isaac. We're now going to hand it over to Nancy Carlton, who has a presentation on behalf of the PJTC Sisterhood.
Thank you, Rabbi. Riley, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let the Torah inspire you and guide you through this beautiful life. I trust this Kiddush cup that I am virtually presenting, you should have it there with you, on behalf of the Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center Sisterhood, will be a reminder of your accomplishments and heritage. Wishing you blessings and joy as you step into adulthood. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Yashikoach Nancy. Now we're going to hand it over to Ira Blitz, who has a presentation on behalf of the Men's Club.
Hi, Riley. It was a pleasure watching you tonight. I congratulate you on behalf of the Men's Club. I know you have many interests in which you do well, but I wanted to say that I was particularly impressed when I learned about your mitzvah project, helping to show seniors how to use their computers to help research potential therapies for COVID-19. I think that's amazing. I know your family is proud of you. As you know, I'm here representing the Men's Club, whose mission it is to support the youth in our community, including B'nai Simcha, the Louis B. Silver Religious School, USY, Federation Youth Orchestra, and Camping Scholarships. But tonight, it's my pleasure and honor on behalf of Men's Club to present you with a beautiful yad, which I know is somewhere in the chapel. The yad, or Torah pointer, helps to protect the Torah during its reading and adding to the spirituality. Tomorrow, you're going to have the mitzvah using this yad to read from the Torah. Just as the yad points your way through the Torah, may the Torah also be your resource through pointing your way through life's decisions. Again, congratulations on behalf of Men's Club.
Thank you.
Yashikoach, and I just have one more presentation to make, and I'm going to make this on behalf of our good friend Judy, who usually does this. And this is a tikkun. This is a making up for something. When we had Riley's minyan here, which was a few weeks ago, there's usually a gift that we present then, and that is a Tanakh, a special travel size, also for younger eyes size print, but a travel size Tanakh that we present to our bar mitzvah. Let's hold that up, show it to everybody, and what we do, I think it was still at the SoFair. It was still in the shop. Somebody had a quill out. They were topping all the softs, and so what we've done that for you is we've marked your own Torah portion. So as you carry that on your way throughout your life, and you put it in your pocket, take it wherever you go. When you're studying through it, you're going to be just flipping through it, and then suddenly you're going to see B'Shalach, and you're going to say, hey, this was my Parsha, and you know that because we've highlighted it for you, just to make that one special to you, so that when you study it, you'll remember your time learning Torah and lots of other things here at PJTC. So Mazel Tov on this wonderful day. Let's see. We're going to just buckle up because we have a few more announcements. I'm going to try to do those as quickly as possible. So we got to end this service while Facebook is still in business. So one sec. So what do we have going on tomorrow? We have a 9:30 tomorrow is a Shabbat service where we will still be celebrating the bar mitzvah of Riley McMillan. You should know that on Sunday, we do have religious school. No holidays to speak of, not until Passover anyway. No holidays, so we have a Sunday morning religious school at 9:30. At 9:30, we also have the minyan for Aiden Hartford, which means his bar mitzvah is next weekend. So we have a 9:30 minyan for Aiden Hartford. And at 11 o'clock, we have a few things happening. We have a Judaism in the Home kit pickup. So if you're part of our wonderful Judaism in the Home program, you have some stuff to come pick up between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. If you're not a part of that program, why not? You should call Melissa and Amy and call us in the office during the week and figure that stuff out. So the other thing that's happening at that time at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning is our Purim Carnival, which means we're going to have sort of a drive-through thing where you roll down your window and you throw bean bags, and in between, if you have a phone with a QR code thing, you can see a little video that tells the story of Purim as you go. And at the I don't know if this is the very last thing. I hope it's the last thing in the carnival is something called Dunk the Rabbi. I don't know exactly what that means or what rabbi they hired for that. But in any case, that's going to be a wonderful thing that happens here tomorrow. Reservations were required. I don't know if you can sneak in. I'm not encouraging illegal behavior, but in any case, we're going to have a lot of fun on Sunday, and I hope you're part of that. One more thing on Sunday, 5 p.m., we have our USY Book Club. On Monday, we have meetings at 7:30 of both our men's club and sisterhood. So those are two separate meetings happening simultaneously, men's club and sisterhood meeting at 7:30 on Monday night. Tuesday, we have our meditation group, and at 8:45 in the morning. 4 p.m., we have our religious school, and then at 7:30, we have a social hall. This is exciting because I know both of these people. It's called Gavel to Gavel, a judicial perspective on the California court system. Join us as Fred Rotenberg and Joe Widman, who are California Supreme Court judges, and they're going to help us understand the California court system. That's exciting. These are both members of this synagogue. I couldn't fulfill any more than I already am. So that's going to happen on Tuesday night at 7:30. Wednesday, March 3rd at 8 a.m., we have our meditation group. Thursday, March 4th, we have our Exploring Your Life Through Torah class at 10 a.m. And as I said before, next Friday night, y'all, 7:30, and then Saturday morning at 9:30, we are going to be celebrating Shabbat again. And we're also going to be celebrating the bar mitzvah of Aiden Hartford. So join us for all of those things. Make sure you're signed up to our email for all of the links to all of those things. And let's see, with that, I'm going to stop announcing things, and I want us to move into my favorite part, which is where we end the service just as we began the service, and that is in Joyous Song. So if you want to get on your feet, if you want to sing like nobody can hear you, sing like you're on mute. And please join us as we sing our way out of here in our customary song, and then stick around for Kiddush.
Od yavo shalom aleinu.
Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam. Shalom, salam, aleinu ve'kol ha'olam, salam, shalom. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al
Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos, everybody. If you're joining us for Kiddush, please grab some wine or some juice or any schnapps that you might have left. Celebratory beverage of your choice, and join us right back here for Kiddush.
And we are going to ask Riley to hold on to that Kiddush cup. Yes, thank you, Dad, for taking the
Riley gets the
piece
big
of
cup.
plastic out of it. And everyone grab one of the little ones that are there. While we start with the first part, I will lead that part and then you guys will take it over. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. I'm going to ask you guys to lift up your cups, and if you're on the Siddur, you are on page 312, and go for it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon, hinachelanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom tehila l'mikrae kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki vanu charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
L'chaim.
Amen.
Have a little bit of a drink.
Now I'll just do a teensy weensy bit of hand washing here before Motzi. If you want to wash your hands, now's a good time to do it, or I'll just be thinking about you while I do it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, guys, let's uncover the challah. Whoa, that is a mama challah.
Yeah.
Major challah. And if you guys can hold it, just lift it up and hold it together.
Should we all pick the whole thing up? Or
It's too heavy, whatever.
let's,
Just
let's pick up the bread. There we go.
pick it up. Go for it.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Look at that happy family.
Take a little piece and enjoy.
Mhm.
You want a piece?
Come on. There you go.
Shabbat shalom. We'll
All
see
right,
you all
Mazel
tomorrow.
tov to Riley, the whole family. We're going to go ahead and we're going to end our streaming portion of the evening. If people want to stick around on Zoom, that's quite all right.